We have faced an attack of savagery that is unparalleled since the Holocaust. We haven't seen such cruelty directed against the Jewish people since the Nazi genocide. We've seen children murdered in front of their parents, parents murdered in front of their children, women raped and beheaded after being raped. We've seen youngsters burned alive in death pits. We've seen mothers and babies kidnapped by these monsters. We've seen them rejoice over this savagery, something that even the Nazis refused to publicize. But they came in, these killers, with GoPro cameras to proclaim to the world, to their people, what kind of cruelty and what kind of inhumanity they were capable of. With fiendish glee, they showed this murderous, horrible action that puts us in front of a huge challenge. And our challenge and our goal can be summarized in two words: total victory. Total victory against these savages. It's not just our battle. It's not just our battle. It's the battle of civilization against barbarism. Because if Hamas gets away with this, if the axis of evil and terror that Iran dominates in this world, or seeks to dominate, the Middle East, it will expand everywhere. And so this is a battle that is important for Israel's future and our survival, but it's also critical for the future of civilization. So we set a goal, total victory. And that goal has three missions. One, to destroy Hamas. Second, to free our hostages, all of our hostages. And third, to ensure that Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel. Now, when we set out to do this, even our best friends said to us, can't be done. They said, could be done. They said, well, you know, if you go into a ground operation, you run into horrible risks. If you go into Gaza City, you're going to go into horrible risks. If you go into Shifa Hospital, you're going to have to kill all the patients. You might kill all the patients and all the doctors and so many civilians. None of that happened. They said, if you go into the tunnels, and these are experienced people who were thinking about the best thing that they could offer us, the best advice they could offer us. They said, if you go into the tunnels, these are death traps that are impossible. Our soldiers are in the tunnels. Our brave soldiers are in the tunnels, demolishing the infrastructure of these killers. They're doing things that were unbelievable. And they're doing so in exemplary action. We're doing that in standards that no army has applied. It's not only I who say this. You should read the words of Colonel John Spencer. He's the head of urban warfare at West Point. He toured several times in Iraq. He says the Israeli army is going to lengths to prevent civilian casualties as no military has done in comparable situations. And he said there is no comparable situation. In Gaza, we're facing 30,000 armed terrorists with an underground terror tunnel network of hundreds of kilometers, maybe 500 kilometers. There's nothing comparable like that. He compares this to the Battle of Mosul. Mosul is smaller than Gaza. Mosul had 3,000 to 5,000 fighters, terrorists. It took America and its allies about 9 months. They achieved the conquest of Mosul and the defeat of the terrorists. And the ratio of those of civilians to combatants killed was about 3 to 1, some say 4 to 1. 10,000 people were killed. We are now down to a ratio of 1 to 1. Look, every civilian casualty is a tragedy. But we are doing things to prevent this that simply cannot be compared to any other arena.